We had an interesting conversation about Jose yesterday, and I'm wondering if this has crossed your radar yet. Do you think teams will call about him? He's hitting in May, slugging over 600. His OPS is over 1,000. And I'm of two minds. One is, well, no one wanted him in the offseason, but as you know, you don't have to make the kind of commitment when you get a guy on July 30th or 31st that you do in February when you call and ink somebody, especially to a deal that's got options after this year and it's incentive laden for 2019. Do you think teams will call Ross Atkins and ask what the rental price is for a Jose Bautista for a playoff run?
Well, I don't think the Blue Jays are selling, and I think they're going to be at least trying to make a playoff run. So I think it's incredibly premature to be talking about something like that. I mean, let's wait 6 weeks and see what's going on at the end of June.
You would assume these.
That's the half-full Wilner.
These conversations have been had by management right now, based on hypotheticals that could realistically transpire. They have. They've. If you're not thinking about, you don't wake up July 20th and go, we should think whether Marco Estrada is a good trade chip. They're talking about it now. That's not incredibly premature.
I don't think they're talking about it now. I think part of all of your planning is what happens if this and what happens if that. But no, I think that it's so overstated, the idea. This is a team that's 5.5 games out of a playoff spot, maybe 5 games out, and they've been playing a month without basically 4 of their stars who are starting to come back. So no, I don't think at all that this team is going to be in sell mode, and this team is going to be blowing it up. And regardless, we're 6 weeks early to start even talking about that. But 2, Jose Bautista is a 10-5 guy, so whether teams are going to be interested in him or not, it's up to him to decide. But if the Blue Jays are out of it, and if the Blue Jays are sellers, I don't know why he would want to stay if he had a chance to make the playoffs somewhere else. So, again, it's so premature to be talking about stuff like that.
In a 10-5, we noted yesterday on the show he has his 10-5 rights. 2 years ago on May 24th, if I'd called your show as Greg from Ajax and I said, what about going after a guy like Troy Tulowitzki? You said, well, that's not realistic and it's incredibly premature. But we know the genesis of that trade came way before they got him. Talking about David Price came way before the night before they got him. I'm saying these conversations happen with management people, and we know that. I'm
not suggesting that these conversations don't happen until the night before. But, I mean, the Troy Tulowitzki, the genesis of the Troy Tulowitzki talks was the off-season before. And the David Price talks was basically the second that Dave Dombrowski said, okay, I'm
selling. Right.
Alex Anthopoulos was all over him like a dirty shirt. But certainly no one's checking in. I really don't think anyone's checking in May saying, hey, what do you want for this guy? If in July you, who was supposed to be a contender, decides to sell.
No.
I just don't think it works that way.
No, and what I asked was, in July, will teams call them if Jose Bautista's hitting like this and the Jays don't feel they're playoff contenders?
That's what I asked. Stop it right now is what I say.
He'd hung up on me by now.
Stop
if I was on Jays.
I know, and I would too.